My pranams to all Atmajyotis, divine light of self. I welcome all of you for today's session of Atmadarshana class. Let us offer our pranams to Guru Parampara. Sadashiva Samarambham, Shankaracharya Madhyamam, Asmadacharya Paryantam, Vande Guru Paramparam, Shruti Smriti Purananam, Alayam, Karuna Alayam, Namami, Bhagavat Padam, Shankaram, Lokashankaram, Akhanda Mandalakaram, Vyaptam, Ena Characharam, Tat Padam, Darshitamena, Tasmai, Shri Gurave Namaha, Hari Om, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Hari Om. Today, let us take up the topic of happiness. All of us want to be happy. All of us want to avoid suffering. Right? People often ask me question, is there purpose in life? What is the purpose of life? Is there purpose in life? What is the purpose of life? If there is a purpose, what do you think is the purpose of life? What are we trying to do in life? Going to school, getting a job, getting married, having children, everything is for happiness. We may do some activities. The activities are projects. I may do X, Y, or Z. What you do doesn't matter. But ultimately, you're trying to get happiness. Right? Happiness seems to be only purpose of life. You can do so many projects for that. Why do you so many projects? Why do you so many projects? Because you are experimenting. This will give me happiness, that will give me happiness. Ultimately, if you get really happiness, you will not do any other project. No. I'll call as life is a series of projects called happiness. Projects for happiness. Series of projects. One after the other, you will never be resting. The moment you do some one project, other project is ready. For the job, study is the project. The moment you get a job, you're not happy with the salary. Another project. If you get a promotion, you're still not comfortable because somebody else got a better salary. Right? You didn't get a promotion, looking for a job is a project. Getting married is a project. Having children is a project. Bringing up children is a project. So life is full of projects, activities. Bhautika. So why are you doing this? To get happiness. Of course, there's other counterpart also. To avoid suffering. So the purpose of life is seeking happiness. Many people confuse purpose with the activity. Activity is the means, purpose is happiness. General purpose of life. Anybody, including animals. Right? So now what is happiness? What do you think is happiness? The happiness, for understanding happiness, I'll divide happiness into three types. The pleasure, happiness, and bliss. So the topic of the day is called bliss, Ananda. So all of us want to look for happiness. A child is happy. Why it's happy? Why child is happy? Why you are not happy? A child seems to be full of happiness, joy, bliss, ananda. Right? Why you are not happy? Why you are not blissful as like a child? Why? What makes the difference between you and the child? Oh, age doesn't make a difference. The child's mind is
Trupti illa.
Yake. There's no satisfaction. Why?
Innu beku anta.
I want something more. But what is that you want more?
Gottilla.
You don't know. The child is happy because child has no knowledge. Child's mind is empty, like a clean slate. Child has no concept of past or future. Child lives in the present moment. Child is always in the present moment. There's no past and future for the child. Right? So one simple answer for the happiness is formalized: no past, no future. But is it possible? Not having a past, not having a future is possible.
Difficult.
Where is the past?
Past and the future, we don't know, but we are dwelling this one or that one.
Your mind is in the past or future.
Yeah.
Right? Mind is in the past or future, but body is always in the present. You cannot have a body in the past or future. Okay? So simple law of life is be with the body. Then you'll be happy. No, the body has another problem. That's a different problem. I am aging, leg is not working, hand is working. That we'll find out. The child you see, no? You see the child, right? They'll be so happy doing like this, because their mind and body go together. They just swirl and they're happy. But you are not happy even if you go around other person also. Our life is going around somebody for somebody. Okay, we go somebody, come girl, boy, money. We keep on going. But child is very happy. Just they'll swim around themselves. They're happy. Understand? To make you remember that, we do something called pradakshina. So in pradakshina, you write, when you do namaskar to God, you'll take 3 rounds. Okay? It's called Atma Pradakshina. Okay? So it's make you remember, like a child, you are doing pradakshina around yourself when you are happy. You're not going after something else. Child is doing pradakshina by himself, like they'll rotate, swing and all. And they're happy. So you are doing pradakshina around everybody else. You are not happy. To be happiness, do pradakshina about yourself. Be yourself. Then you would go do it pradakshina in the temple. So you're doing pradakshina around many things. Going around people, society and all. Do pradakshina around God means, okay, make a life centered around God. Life centered around Atma and life centered, work centered around God. Service. Atma Mokshatam Jagadidaya. That's the secret for happiness. Two types of pradakshina, right? One is you go around yourself. Like children do that. Children are happy by themselves. Their body and mind are together. They're happy. Our problem is body and mind are not together. The mind is in the past or future. Body is in the present moment. Body can never be in the past or future. So then what will happen? Mind is in the past and body is in the present. You are a split personality. Personality is split. The split personality can never be happy. So be happy. How to be happy? Have the body and mind at the same place. Is it simple? That's all is meditation. That's all is spiritual practice. Not having body and mind split. So the child is happy because child has no past memories. Child is happy because there's no future imagination also. But as you grow, the child, it comes to school. In the school, it's taught, be successful, compete. So then the child is very rosy picture of future. Child has a lot of hopes about future. Child has no past. Child has no past, but only imaginary future. So now child has become unhappy now. Now everything is about creation. I get a job, I get married, I get have children. So much of you are creating a future now. Now come to the middle age. Middle age is 50% of life is over. And 50% of life is visible. So this guy, he is confused. Whatever 50% didn't work out, all projects failure. He tried a job, he tried a marriage, he had children, not successful. And the future looks very gloomy. I'm becoming old, teeth is falling, eyesight is becoming poor. The past is not satisfactory, future is not satisfactory. So now you are in a midlife crisis. It's called midlife crisis, right? The midlife crisis is the right time for enlightenment. If you tell the enlightenment to the child, it won't work because future is bright. Okay. And if you tell the this thing, no, child has no past. He doesn't know what suffering is. So midlife, you have already done suffering, and life in ahead also doesn't look very glorious. That's called midlife crisis. That's why all, if you go to any satsang, most of the people are midlife, middle age. Right? Neither this way nor this way. Neither Gadka, na Gadka, na Gadka. Neither you are not for happiness. Right? But as a child, you'll never be able to go to satsang and spirituality because you are always ambitious. I want to achieve. And when you become old, the future is not there. Only past is there. And past is already full of suffering. So if you go to old people, they say, what has happened to time now? In our old days, 5 rupees they'll get rice. All right. So they always think of past. But middle-aged person, he thinks of the past. I got into a wrong career, wrong job. I regret. Okay. Future, what I have to do, I don't know. One day I'll do something, some business. So neither this way nor that way is called middle age. And that's called midlife crisis. And if you look at any spiritual satsang, it will be midlife people, right? It's the right time for enlightenment, understanding life. If it's a little bit higher, you can't understand. So one formula for happiness in life is just be with your body. The moment you are unhappy, it means you have lost the sense with the body. Mind will be roaming. So happiness is what we seek. All that we have to understand about happiness is look at children. But when you brought up your children, you forgot to look at children. You're so busy. Right? So you're actually not able to look at your children because you're so busy doing something. That's why sometimes God is very graceful to you and he will bless you with grandchildren. At least look at grandchildren now. You become Ajja or Ajji. So if you not learn from your childhood, at least learn from your children's childhood. And if you have not learned from your children's childhood, you will learn from your grandchildren's childhood. If you don't learn, then you will have great grandchildren also. Don't worry. So, what is happiness? Let us understand happiness in 3 dimensions. We have body, mind, and Atma. This self. Okay. Body, mind, and self. The happiness has a different definition at each level. At the body level, it's called pleasure. At the mind level, it's called happiness. At the self level, it's called bliss. Right? 3 levels of happiness at the physical level. Physical level happiness is when you touch something, it's pleasant. When you smell something, pleasant. When you taste something, it's pleasant. So pleasure and pain are at the physical level. Pleasure and pain are at the physical level. Okay. What is pleasure? Pleasure is come in contact with objects. When you come in contact with sense objects, you become pleasure.
Can be pain.
It can be pain also. Pleasure and pain. A cup of coffee in the morning. Aha. What a pleasant aroma of the coffee. Okay. The taste of the coffee is so pleasant. Smell and taste. Right? Pleasure. But if you don't get a coffee, it's a pain. So sense objects, making contact with senses is called pleasure. Sense objects making contact. Sense objects not able to make contact with sense objects is called pain. You can get pain, pleasure from anything. Somebody who looks money, right? Loves money. Aha, touching that rupee note. Then they taste it also. Have you seen people? The taste of money, smell of money, touch. So all these things give what you call as pleasure. So look at your life. What do you get pleasure from in your own life? Pleasure. So they can feel pleasure in touching the child, touching the grandchildren. Pleasure. So basically, subject and object become one. That's called pleasure. Body is the subject and sense object is object. Subject and object becoming one is called pleasure. That means duality, subject-object duality collapsing for a moment is called pleasure. Somewhere we don't tolerate duality. I don't like duality. I'm not comfortable. Okay. So that's where people try to collapse the duality by various ways. Duality is the pain. Duality is suffering. Separation.
From existence.
Separation, I would say simple. Subject, object. Subject and object separation is suffering.
Bhakta gets a lot of pleasure also.
Correct. Bhakta wants to get a pleasure thinking of God. No, it's a connection.
But that is duality.
In duality, he'll get a pleasure. He doesn't know he is connected. Connection in some way.
No, how is it pain?
When the God is not there, it's pain. When you are not able to go to temple, when you are not able to sing bhajan, right? No, I missed. I didn't have darshan today. I went to the temple, but the queue was so big, I didn't have darshan. So the bhakta gets also pleasure is going to the temple, darshan or bhajan, chanting. Pain is not able to do that. Suffer. Pleasure and pain come together. Isn't it? And we want always pleasure. Our life purpose is happiness. Pleasure is one part of happiness. But what is the challenge with the pleasure? You can't get it. It's very expensive. How many times you can drink a cup of coffee every day? One time is fine. Second time, third time, acidity. Fourth time, vomiting. The sense pleasure is very limited. And it's also very expensive. I will like a girl. I want to be one with a girl. Marriage. Very expensive. 50 years of life commitment is gone. I like this car. So pleasant. 15 lakhs. 4 years of working.
But you should touch the car.
So, the sense pleasure is very expensive. A lot of effort is required to maintain it. Right? It's a very pleasant experience to be with the friends and relatives. But you have to pay a price for that, no? To be with somebody, you need to travel. Okay, spend some time. Okay, you have to take a holiday. You have to tell some lies to the boss that I am going somewhere. Okay, my emergency, my mother-in-law is not well. So somewhere you have to find out some play. Pleasure is always expensive. What all price you have paid for pleasure in life, you tell me? Having children is joy, pleasure, but it's a big pressure also. Okay, for a pleasure of having the baby and singing around and joy. Next 30 years of your life we have to commit. That baby has become a big boy also, but still you are worried about him. So the problem with pleasure is very expensive. Time, money, effort, all goes into that. And the pain is associated. Immediately pleasure will come with pain. So pleasure and pain are like two faces of a coin. What gives you pleasure will give you a pain. Coffee gives me a pleasure. Not having a coffee gives a pain. The pleasure and pain are body related happiness. Subject becoming object. One is the object. Subject, sense organs making contact with the object. That means duality is gone momentarily. The duality going momentarily is called oneness. Ekatvam. We cannot maintain that ekatvam. Few seconds, few milliseconds, or few minutes it will last. After that, it will go. After that, pain. So, in the body related sense, the pleasure is short, pain is long. Why? Because pleasure moment you can have only retain for some time. See, it was so happy. My school days, we went for a picnic. Picnic was one day, but suffering is for 10 years because I missed it. The pain with long pleasure, short pleasure, long pain is what is called life. Happiness through body. Are you clear? So then comes to happiness through mind. The body pleasure is making contact, physical contact. Mental pleasure is making mental contact. What is the advantage? It is free of cost. You can keep on going in time and place. Travel anywhere. So pleasant. A picnic. I went there. Oh, that mountain is so pleasant. Oh, the mountain is I was so happy. So you can remember and be happy. So what is your real mode of entertainment in life now? Happiness or pleasure? Huh? Memories. Right? People have so many things. In the fridge, they'll put all the places they visited. Okay, there's a album. There's a big album, photo album. And when friends meet, they'll keep on talking about 25 years back, what happened. Mental contact. It's called happiness. Mental disconnect is called unhappiness. I'm not able to make that. So remembering that 10 years back, we went to have a nice time, makes you suffer now. The pleasure, happiness is related to mind. And happiness is a counterpart called unhappiness. Right? The physical pleasure comes with a cost. Time, effort, money. Mental pain and mental unhappiness and unhappiness, it comes free of cost. Anytime you can keep on suffering in life. You don't have to pay for it. At least physical level, you have to pay for some happiness. Mental level, you don't have to pay. You keep remembering and suffer. Did you listen to this, Ashni? Okay, so what is your main purpose in life? So pleasure and happiness difference you understood? Okay, pleasure is physical, happiness is mental, right? Remember something, oh, that was a happy day. Then physical pleasure comes with a cost. You have to pay for a cup of coffee or going and all. Mental pleasure, free. Anytime you can go anywhere. Okay. And mental pain is also, mental suffering also, unhappiness is also free. You are free to suffer, unhappy.
Free and in abundance.
In abundance. As much time you can enjoy. But physically you can't enjoy a cup of coffee that much time. So, difference is pleasure is physical and limited. Pain is unlimited because you can only momentary contact. In mental domain, happiness and unhappiness both are unlimited, free of cost. You can keep on remembering your son when he was in Bangalore. Such a good time. Now, what is he doing? So, pleasure and pain, happiness and happiness keep coming together. We cannot have one, right? So, what is suffering in life? Suffering in life means you want to hold on to happiness, hold on to pleasure, which is impossible. No matter what you do, you cannot hold on to sense objects. Pleasure is not permanent. No matter hold on to good memories, you can't hold on, because the moment you remember good memories, bad memories will come. So suffering is trying to hold on to happiness or pleasure. Is this clear to all? So what is your suffering in life? What do you suffer in life? You suffer in life trying to hold on to something. Hold on to moments of happiness. Hold on to moments of pleasure. Impossible. That's real suffering in life. So then come to bliss. Then what is bliss? Bliss is neither holding on to pleasure nor holding on to happiness. Then you are blissful.
But it is not possible.
That's what is bliss. That's what is spiritual journey is about. Get what not. So it is not possible to have bliss. See, people give a lot of big understanding of spiritual journey. So you understand the pleasure and pain come in together and go. Happiness and unhappiness come together and go. So I'm happy whether pleasure is there or pain is there. Happiness is there, unhappiness is there. My nature doesn't get disturbed. That's called bliss. So understanding your nature, understanding who am I, is called bliss. Now, please understand, pleasure comes from subject and object becoming one. Contact with the objects. Happiness comes from contact with the memories. Okay. Bliss comes from contact with the self. Connect with self. There is nothing else to connect. The connecting with the self is called Advaita, non-duality. So basically, entire purpose of life is to get rid of duality.
Complete disconnection with objects. But there is nothing called that.
No, objects are also self.
Disconnection with all the objects, right?
That's the first step. Then finding out self in all.
Then connect with self means what?
Connect is, how do you connect with self? First you understand what is not self. Objects are not self. And objects can never give me permanent happiness. Okay. So permanent happiness can be only my nature. I don't need any connection with the objects of sense organs, or I don't need to connection with the memory to get happiness. So my nature is happiness. My nature is happiness called Ananda Swarupa. So that's where you connect with yourself rather than connecting with the objects or the memories. The word connect is as if, okay, but I'm trying to maintain the logic. Maintain the logic that connecting with yourself is being yourself. The being yourself is non-duality. So that's called bliss. So the bliss has two dimensions. Not connecting with the objects or not connecting with the memory. When does it happen? In deep sleep, it happens naturally. In deep sleep, there's no world. There's no objects in the world. There's no mind. Mind is also dormant. So you are by yourself. That's called Ananda, bliss. Right? But that bliss I want by problem is not deep sleep. Bliss I want in the waking state. Right? Bliss I want in the waking state. Our entire spiritual journey is solving the problem of waking state. So then some people will want to go into samadhi. Samadhi is blissful. Now, one more problem started. I want to go into samadhi. One more contact with the self has to happen. Samadhi means contact with the self, connect with the self. Samadhi is required. That's also not solution because samadhi can be disturbed. Samadhi, you don't have all the time you can sit in samadhi. So that's where solution is sahaja samadhi or natural state. That's called enlightenment or mukti. In the waking state, if you are able to be equanimous, called sakshi. Objects are there, physical objects are there, mental objects are there, but you should be sakshi in the waking state. Being sakshi in the waking state is bliss. Being in samadhi is bliss. Being in sleep is bliss. In samadhi and sleep, you don't have objects. But having the objects, physical and mental, but not trying to get happiness out of them is bliss.
Not get happiness.
Not trying to hold on to happiness. In fact, there may be pain also, body. If you are a sakshi, you are blissful. Understand? Able to witness life without trying to grab something out of life is bliss. Not running away. If you run away, it's called dvesha. If you hold, it's called raga. A sakshi is neither raga nor dvesha. People mistake vairagya means running away from life. No. Vairagya means no raga, no dvesha. No attachment, no repulsion. If you are able to live that life, then you are blissful. That's called life of Jivan Mukta. Is understanding Jivan Mukta clear? Jivan Mukta lives his life as witness sakshi. Of course, he will function everything, do everything, but he doesn't try to grab anything life, or he doesn't try to run away from something in life. If you don't want pleasure, I don't want pain, I don't want pain, that becomes a bigger pain. I don't want suffering, becomes a bigger suffering. I want happiness, becomes a suffering. Freedom from want, like and dislike is life of Sthita Prajna. So bliss has two definitions. Being freed from the objects of the world, being freed from the mind, and deep sleep, bliss. Being freed from objects of the world, being freed from the mind in samadhi is bliss. Real bliss is living in the world as sakshi, witness, being freed from objects of the world, being freedom from mental objects, not identify with them, functioning normal in the world. It's called sahaja samadhi. That's the highest bliss, Jivan Mukta. Is the definition of bliss clear? Bliss means simple. While living in the world, who cares? Something comes, who cares? Something goes, who cares? Right? A carefree life is called bliss. But many people are carefree, but they're not blissful. Because they care for something else. They're carefree for something, they're care for something. Oh, he's a very carefree, he is not married, he's very carefree. But that guy, okay, when it comes to some going to a club or going to a movie, he's very, he's not carefree.
Yes.
So be carefree for everything. There's no choice. It's called choiceless life. Life of a choice-free awareness. Choiceless awareness. Choice-free. Doesn't mean that you'll become idle. Oh, no, I'm free from everything, I'm idle. No. Act. Action is required. But no attachment to the results. Then why do you act? Why do you act? In the action, you are anyway blissful, right? The bliss gets added with the joy of connecting also. See, a person who is Gnani is blissful. But drinking a cup of coffee is okay. Adding little bit to what is there, or not having a cup of coffee is also okay. Not having is okay, but having a cup of coffee is little bit, no. Add it. What is there? Doing something, it adds a joy of sharing. That's all. It knows it's momentary, but that's okay.
Out of this.
Out of bliss, out of joy, he will operate. Out of bliss, he will operate. Not for bliss. Not for bliss.
This is also shared
The bliss is shared through actions.
through acts.
Right? Is it clear? So pleasure, pain, and bliss is clear. Pleasure and happiness. Because bliss, we have very, very wrong ideas. Brahmananda means something like he's jumping with joy like a monkey. Okay. Brahmananda means who cares? The world is there, not there. The body is there, not there. The pain is there, not there. Pleasure is there, not there. Who cares? Then he is blissful.
Yes.
It's carefree life. But it doesn't mean that running away from life. Being in the life and being blissful and sharing the bliss with the whoever comes in contact. Carefree life doesn't mean irresponsibility. Why do you take responsibility? What is irresponsibility and what is responsibility? When I say take, yeah, duty and responsibility are different. Duty is forced on you. You have to do something. Right? If you don't do, you'll be kicked out. Responsibility, you take up something on you. You respond to a situation. Okay? A Gnani has no duties to perform. But Gnani takes a lot of responsibilities willingly. Because in the process, he is trying to share his bliss in whatever form. Responsibility comes from the word response. Duty comes from the demand. In duty, you are a slave. In response, you are free. So you can see many Jnanis working ceaselessly. A person who is workaholic also will work ceaselessly. But he's full of stress. So Jnani, when he works fully, a lot of time, he is blissful. He is overflowing with joy. He is sharing his happiness. He is not getting happiness from somebody. If you are trying to get happiness from some other situation, you will be suffering. You are a slave. So Ramakrishna Prabhu was suffering with throat cancer. Throat cancer is pain, bodily pain. And when the bodily pain is there, automatically some sounds will come. The pain sound will come from the mouth. Because body is just, it's a reaction from the body. When Shisha comes, Bhagavan, you are suffering from body pain, the throat cancer. Yes, lot of suffering, he'll say. Then at the same time, you seem to be very peaceful. Yes, I am blissful also. So it doesn't mean that just being bliss, you are cancelling out body pain. In the body pain also, you're blissful. Understand? Whereas, in case of Adnani, only no body pain is bliss. In case of Gnani, body pain is also there, it's bliss also. Because he is not expecting anything from the body. Not identifying with the body. The pain is there. Body pain will be there. But he'll be blissful in the body pain also. Are you clear? So, when surgery is going on, pain is there. A person may cry, a Gnani may laugh also. Then don't think that Gnani has no pain. He is laughing. Gnani is cheerful. Doesn't mean that Gnani has no pain. He can be cheerful in pain also. Body has the pain. So bliss is being witness or samadhi. Both are blissful. Okay. Are you clear? Other people who only look for samadhi bliss, samadhi ananda. It should be sahaja ananda, not samadhi ananda. Sahaja samadhi, natural state you have to come finally. Whether you're in samadhi or waking state, you're dancing or walking, or you have body pain or no body pain. Being witness is bliss. That's called choiceless awareness. Whatever happens in life, accepting it. Choiceless acceptance is bliss. Any questions from anybody on Zoom? Yes, Manasa Bhatt, Purnima, any questions?
No, Prabhuji, we are all in bliss.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Any questions from people sitting here? The question I know, how to be that? How to be blissful? Oh, huh?
So, Prabhuji, even with contact with sense objects,
Ah.
there is momentary bliss because the mind is silent at that time.
The momentary bliss.
Only the ignorance is about the
Correct,
source of the
Correct. Now let us come to next that question, right? So let us say we understand mechanism of happiness. When somebody, when what happens? How do we get happiness? Our mind is completely restless, full of thoughts. So that's called suffering. That's called pain. I want to have a cup of coffee. Okay. A lot of thoughts are there. Coffee. It's fast. So it's called pain. The moment you put coffee in your mouth, subject and object is made contact. Duality is gone momentarily. The mind has become silent. Okay. Mind has become silent momentarily. Understand? Because mind has become silent momentarily, the bliss of self is reflected in the mind. That's called happiness. The bliss didn't come from, happiness didn't come from coffee. Happiness came because mind became silent. But again, the moment contact is lost, mind again comes back and starts craving because mind does not know it came from Atma, self. So in case of Gnani, what will happen? Okay. So Gnani is not identifying the mind. So if he drinks a cup of coffee, he will feel the pleasure. But he doesn't crave for the pleasure. Because it's only coming from me. Everything is coming from the self, not from a cup of coffee. There's no craving. Definitely you'll feel a cup when you drink a cup of coffee, pleasure. Gnani does it just because he does what I call as he doesn't care about plain pleasure. Doesn't mean that he'll get tortured himself. No, it's okay. The pleasure is a pleasure only. But there's no craving for pleasure or there's no aversion to the suffering. But doesn't mean that he'll go willingly go and suffer. Willingly go torture me. No. There's no running away. That's why dukkeshu anudigmanaha sukeshu vigataspраha vitaraga bhayakrodha stitadi munirchate. Dukkeshu, when the sorrowful situation scenario, he is not depressed. Joyful situation scenario, no, he is not elated. Vitaraga, attraction, repulsion don't affect him. Bhayakrodha, fear and anger do not disturb him. Such a person is Sthita Prajna. But see here, in this definition, he is not sitting idle. He is fully active in life. Not affected by life. Are we clear?
Makes Nani act. Why should he have any project at all?
Why Nani has a project? Why does Nani have an action? So Nani is actually the way why Nani acts. Before Dana, all projects in life is to get happiness. Okay? And to hold happiness. or try to avoid suffering. So Gnani has only one project, to share happiness. So Gnani, why should he share happiness? He responds to situation. If people are suffering, okay, let me share some happiness, whatever is possible. So project for a samsari is to get happiness, get pleasure. So Gnani's project is to share happiness and share joy. Of course, sharing happiness, sharing joy is not physical. In terms of teaching, he knows by understanding, people will become really happy, peaceful. So he shares. So Gnani's project is sharing, okay, whereas Adnani's project is gaining. Yeah. So let us contemplate for some time. I won't use the word meditate, contemplate. Because